Hello everyone, welcome to week 1 core of Space Crusher, the new game that we're going to be working on for this month. So to start off, this time around we will not have an actual game setup that we have the link to and need to remix. This time around we're going to be creating the project from scratch. So inside of your Scratch, you're just going to click on the Create tab. And this is going to open up a brand new project for us. So once it's opened up, there are two main things we need to do. First, we want to delete the main sprite that always shows up when we create a new project, which is the Scratch Cat. So we're just going to click on the trash can to delete it. And then where it says Untitled all the way at the top, this is where we'll add our title for our game. So if you can't think of a title, you can just, for right now, give it the title of the main game that we're going to be working on, which is Space Crusher. So now that we've renamed our project and we deleted our cat, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create our player sprite. So we're going to hover over, choose a sprite. We're going to click on the paintbrush, and this is going to create a new sprite. We're going to rename it player. And now we're going to start building our spaceships. So there is many ways that you can go about doing it, and it's kind of up to you to decide which way you feel works best for your game. So I'm going to show you two different ways that you can do this, and then it's up to you to decide which way is the best way. So the first way that we can do it is by using our two shape tools, and then using our reshape tool as the main three things that we're going to use in order to create our spaceship. So the first thing you want to do is focus on creating the spaceship's body. So for example, maybe I want a rectangle for my spaceship's body, and it's up to me to decide whether or not I want an outline and what the color is for my fill. So for right now, I'm going to pick maybe a blue, and I'll add a fill to it as well for my spaceship. Once I pick my color, I will leave my outline. I'm going to go ahead and create the shape that I want. Once I have the shape, I can use my select tool, and then I can start editing it. So right now my border, so my outline that I have is a little bit too small, so I'm just going to make it bigger so that it's thicker. And now that I have that, now I can use my reshape tool, and I can start creating the body. So let's say maybe I want to add 2 points here, make this curve. 2 points here, make this curve. Let's say maybe I'll even delete these dots since I don't want it. And another thing that you can also do is you can pick whether or not the dots are going to be curved or pointed. So you see I'm changing it from curve, which is smooth, to point to make it a little bit jagged. So it's up to you how you want your shapes to kind of look like for your spaceship. Let's say maybe I want to add something here. So maybe some type of a opening for my ship. And then let's make the body cooler by adding a little bit of more shape to it too. And as I'm clicking on the dot, I'm choosing whether or not it's going to be curved or smooth. Okay. So now that I have my main body, maybe I want to add some more cool stuff to it. So I'm going to change the shape now. So I'm going to use a circle. I'm going to keep the same outline, but let's say maybe now I want to choose a full color instead of a half of a color. I can hold on to Shift to make a perfect circle, and then I can go ahead and add it to wherever I want to the ship. So this is one part that you guys kind of need to pay attention to. It's up to you to decide whether or not you want stuff to go on top or below. And what I mean by this is you can move stuff forward or backwards to change the shape even more. So for this, maybe I want to add it back. And then I can go ahead and use my select tool. Since I already have this, I can just copy and paste it, move it over to the other side, and do the same thing. Maybe I want to copy this again and paste it and maybe add one over here. I can even make this a little bit smaller. And maybe I want to add one more to this mouth. And maybe I want to change the shape of it. So I'm going to use my reshape tool. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And now here I have the body of my ship. And you kind of get the idea of where I'm going with. So you guys can continue adding separate pieces, continuing changing stuff. Once you're done creating the body of the ship, it's always nice to go back with your brush tool and add extra details. So for example, if I want to add more black lines, I'm going to make this black. I'm going to change this to size 11, which is the size that I made the thickness of my actual line around here to make everything the same. And then I can go ahead and start adding lines to it. So here I'm adding lines to add more details to stuff. I can also color it if I want to. So maybe I want to add some white to my spaceship. To kind of make it look like it's shiny. And there you can start seeing that I've just finished creating my spaceship. So there we go. So this is the first way you guys can create the spaceship. The second way, and you don't have to create two costumes, this is just to show you the second way. You can just use your brush tool and do the same thing. So you can start off by using a black line, and you can just start creating the shape of how you want your spaceship to look like. Okay. Make sure that the lines are always closing itself. That way when you fill it up, you won't have any issues. And as you can see here, that should be it. Now I can use my fill tool. I can choose the color that I want for my spaceship. And now I can start filling it up. Then I can go back with my brush tool, changing the size, and then I can start adding in extra details to it. So maybe I want to add some shadows, maybe one here, maybe one here. I can start filling it out. And you can see I'm building a spaceship a different way. I play around with the colors as well. So really, anything you want to do, you can go ahead and do. And there's no right or wrong way of creating a spaceship. Another thing you can maybe do is maybe look up a spaceship that you like and try to copy the way it looks like, and that's also up to you. But once you're done, the main thing that you want to do is you want to use your select tool. You want to make a huge selection over your entire spaceship, and you just want to make sure that it's centered and positioned exactly where we want to. You want to make sure also that the size stays inside of this box, so that's going to be the main thing. You don't want it to go over this line because then it's going to cut off the actual details that you add. So if you feel like it's a little bit too big, you can always select everything, make it just a little bit tiny so that everything fits a little bit better, and then recenter it. And that would be it for creating your player spaceship sprite.